We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Chase Winovich, Miami Dolphins edge. They just added into the practice squad. I think he's another guy from the practice squad that they added, one of the out of the few that I think could get brought up to the roster. Like, you're allowed to, with the new practice squad rules from the last few years, you're allowed to bring up guys to the roster like 3 times, I believe, before you have to add them or let them go, but you can put them back down on the practice squad. I think Winovich is one of those guys with experience. He can make some plays. Like, watching his film, he's a better run defender than I expected. At times, I thought he was used out of position as like a hand in the dirt defensive end. He should be more of a stand-up guy, which I think he'll fit better in the Miami Dolphins scheme if he does get playing time. But you can just see the quickness. Like, when he does win with pass rushing, it's very quickly. He's very technically sound with his hands. He knows how to use it. You can see him sort of square up 72 here, double swipe down, use their own hands against them to make him overextend there, and then you win to the inside. And then you can have the core strength. He has enough strength, obviously to beat running backs. I think he can struggle with, play strength at times versus bigger offensive linemen because he's not the biggest guy. But you can clearly see he's a good athlete and he's definitely technically sound. I just thought he was used out of position, especially last year for the Browns. This will be the 2022 film for him. And I feel like you get a little creative with him. I like to see him, almost using like a Van Ginkel type of role where he's an edge defender, but he can be used up as like a stand-up guy, maybe in third down situations. Stand up, line up anywhere from the line of scrimmage, standing up and blitz. I feel like he could be very impactful in those situations. Like I was saying, versus the run, he did a pretty good job this season in many different situations, whether it's setting the edge, taking on pullers like that, winning with quickness. Here, this guy ends up, blocking down this tight end, so he's taking on a different tight end at the point of attack, sort of working through him, and he's got to get down, constrict this run lane. He knows he has help to the outside, and you want to, once this guy blocks on, you want to eat up this space because they're trying to get through this hole. This is where they're going. These guys are pulling through, so you want to constrict, take on this guy at the point of attack, blow up this play, and then toss him to the side. Really good job with his hands there. He can definitely bully tight ends, but he'll throw that guy out of the way. He's just really good with his technique overall, the ability to stack and shed. Even for a smaller guy, he can, toss some people off of him, just usually based off his technique alone. But then at times he will get manhandled when the guy just really gets good hand placement on him. Like I was saying, again, Winovich can set the edge versus the run. That's a really good play. You really get to see him, he's sort of standing up. He's trying to go with his hand down late, but I feel like you want him to be in this better position like this, not the hand on the ground. Let him get up the field. Let him be more explosive. He's an athlete. Let him explode like this. And he's able to reset the line of scrimmage. You see how he resets it, is in complete control. He's the force defender here, and he knows based on his positioning, this running back's not going to try to bounce to the outside. That's not the correct read. So he's just using that hand to keep himself clean. He's got limited length, but he knows how to use those hands and then come off to the inside to then, take away that other gap. So really good job being that force defender, forcing it back to the inside, and then still coming off of it and helping limit this gain at the line of scrimmage. This is an impressive lateral play here to get down this line of scrimmage. Really good job using his hands to keep himself clean again. He gets matched up with a tight end. He can really take advantage of those matchups and just straight up, head up on this tight end. Look at the number advantage they have over here. They have 3 offensive tackles and a tight end, so he's super wide here. And he gets hands-on. He's still able to make this tackle all the way on the end of the line of scrimmage, and look where he's lined up. He gets squared, and now he uses that left hand, long arm this guy to keep his chest clean because that one arm's longer than 2 arms, to keep himself clean and then get down laterally and make this tackle. That is a super impressive play. His run defense film was way better than I thought, and I feel like usually he was known for being more of a pass rusher, but I think, in this Browns scheme, his pass rushing skills were limited just due to how he was aligned. And so I feel like he got a little bit of a bad rep from that. And he's a known quantity. He's a solid veteran. You get him on your practice squad, he's the type of practice squad player that ends up getting called up to your roster and making some plays, especially if injuries are to happen. Here we get Winovich wide. At least here, he's got his hand in there, but you get him in a wide 9. You give him more space to work with, and he's going to win his rep. When he was aligned tighter, here you get him a wide 9 for sure, where you get a guy who can truly get his pass rush rep going. But a lot of times, he's head up over the tackle, 2 hands in the dirt. At least let him stand up, be creative. When he got those opportunities, or with the more space, he looked way better as a pass rusher. And I think that's the opportunities he will get as a Dolphin if he does end up getting playing time. So here, burst up the field. You can see the athleticism. He sort of raises that chest, hitting him with this move. Look like he might go to the inside, but he kind of sees that running back here, sees he has a lot of room to work with, but he sort of uses that hands to keep that space and just turn him, open up, get really low. He gets into him, get those hands down, and then rip underneath and have the bend and athleticism to the corner. And then he has kind of forces this QB to throw the ball away because he won his rep very, very fast. Another nice play versus the run here from Winovich. He's, the edge defender to this side of the field, and he just wins with nice little quickness, set this up. Great job of sort of feeling this leverage of this offensive lineman. You feel him overextend, getting low, attack him low. So he hits him with this swim sort of club over right there and throws him to the ground, let him go by him. He can win in multiple different ways. We've seen him win at the point of attack just using two hands, setting the edge, using a long arm. Can beat you with athleticism, and here with the combined with technique, and then get down and help, make that tackle. Just another impressive play versus the run from Winovich. Those were the plays that really surprised me the most from him. On this play, Winovich is the looper around here, and he sets this up pretty nicely with his timing. And you can see he hits the double club swim right there. Club swim on the first guy to get around him, and then he gets to the center, club swim him again, timed up with that little hop step. You can see he's clearly got the repertoire, the pass rush repertoire, bag of tricks to go into like that. He's just wasn't, there were so many plays where he had pass rush opportunities, but he was just put in a terrible situation. He wasn't able to do much. He was forced to bull rush. That's just not his game. He's not going to be able to do that to NFL offensive linemen. But you can see when he's able to work with a little bit of space, use his athleticism here, and then also his pass rush moves, because he's got quite the moves there. Hitting back-to-back versus two different O-linemen is pretty funny with the hop jump, and getting all the way to Allen from where he was aligned, force him to, throw it out, get an incomplete pass because he had some pressure there on Josh Allen. Winovich on the outside again, number 69. Don't know why he's wearing that number, but great job just setting the edge, using his hands to keep himself clean. He's not the strongest guy at the point of attack. He can get moved around at times, but he understands how to use his hands. Leverage battle, he's lower, naturally lower than a lot of these offensive tackles, and he uses his hands to just not allow them to get completely into the chest. He hand fights, he gets that outside leverage, controls him, sort of forklifts this tackle up, and then once he sees Kamara bounces to the outside, he uses the separation there, extends to create that space to shed and help limit this gain. Being that force defender, you don't want to let the running back get outside of you. That's his job, and he doesn't, and it's a running back with a lot of speed too, and he just plays that very, very well. Same game versus the Saints. You can see he loves hitting a club swim move, whether it's pass rushing or versus the run. He just has a great feel to time these things up. Pre-snap, looks like he might get, chipped here from this receiver, so he wants to get upfield quickly, avoid that feel, it doesn't end up happening, but he gets upfield quickly. And then club, swim, timing, perfect hand placement on the club, and swim over the top. And you can see him sort of explode down the line. He's very athletic, especially with his first step. He's a very quick athlete. He's got a very good short area athleticism, and he just makes a lot of these types of plays his most impactful plays. Sometimes he can get, take it down to play with play strength when he's, everything's not perfect for him. But when he times these things up and wins with his athleticism and technique, it can be very, very explosive plays right at the line of scrimmage or in the backfield. Last play that we're going to break down for Winovich, just heads up play. They block down. He knows he's left unblocked. He might get the split flow from the unblocked, or from the tight end who's off the ball right here. He moves to this side. I think he feels this. He sees the offensive line sort of flow away from him. So he gets down, constricts this run lane pretty quickly, so he can take on this tight end at the point of attack and make this run lane very hard to get through for Harris. And boom, uses his hands there to keep himself clean. He momentum's off of him when Harris tries to bounce to the outside, because he still wants to maintain that cutback lane, and it's there to help limit that gain at the line of scrimmage. Just a lot of impressive run play reps. Would like to see a little more consistency as a pass rusher, but I feel like the biggest reason he wasn't as consistent or played as good this past season as one is because of the scheme, like I was saying earlier in the video. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.